Just got paid. Counting up the bills today. Every day fall on you. Okay, we are back. We are back. We are back. That was War Rig by Terrence. Oh, it went away, but I can't think of his last name. But hey, that was a hot track. And forgive me, my brother, if I don't have your full name up here. But we wanted to bring into memory that today marks Frankie Knuckles' anniversary of his passing. And I'm trying to pull up what we have on the website here so I can actually read it to y'all. And, you know, Frankie Knuckles, a really awesome, I can't even put it all into words, awesome pioneer of house music. I guess that's the best way to do it. Frankie Knuckles, today marks the 5th year of the death of Frankie Knuckles Jr., or more commonly known as Frankie Knuckles, the godfather of house music. Frankie Knuckles, 2008, January 18th, and he was born 1955, March 31st, not 2014, but that's a typo. But he was born 1955 and died January 18th, 2014.
No, he didn't. He died March 31st.
I'm sorry, March 31st. We got a January. He was born January 18th, 1955. Died March 31st, 2014. Frankie Knuckles was born and raised in New York, the Bronx area, with his friend Larry Levine, where the founder, well, where they found disco music and spent most of their time together during the 70s. And Frankie was asked to come to Chicago. For those that don't know the story, Frankie was asked to come to Chicago, and he was playing disco here originally. And then he was introduced to house music, where at first Frankie was like, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. But he was asked to give it a shot. He played it, and the Chicago crowd at the spot where he was playing it at went nuts. And from then on, Frankie embraced house music, created house music, so on and so forth. So want to give a special shout out to Frankie Knuckles. Thank you, my brother, for bringing house music to where it is today. You as a founder, one of the founders of house music. Thank you for embracing it, because if you didn't embrace it, I would wonder where the house scene would be without Frankie Knuckles, you know. So moving on, there's another anniversary, and our boy Angelo Sotto is about to walk into the studio right now. Another anniversary is my anniversary. 2 years to this date, yours truly retired from active duty service from the United States Marine Corps after serving 20 years of service, proud service to this country. And it doesn't feel like 2 years went by that quick, but I'm sitting at my 2-year mark, and it is an honor and a privilege to be sitting here behind this mic and being on this show back here in Chicago, where I was born and raised, and where house music has been in my heart and soul ever since I was the age of 10 years old, when I started hearing house music for the first time, disco and all that. So it gives me great pleasure to be sitting here behind the mic and being able to talk to the masses, as well as being seen on YouTube. So thank you very much for those that have given me kudos on serving this country. Thank you for the support, and please continue to support our active duty service members all around the world, because without you, it makes doing their job 1,000 times harder, especially working for the president that we work for. So that's my only dish on the president. So with that being said,
oh man, okay.
With that being said, how's everybody doing today? I asked that question earlier. Vince, Rick, I'm going to open the door for Angelo in a second here.
Sure.
But, you know, Vince, what do you have coming up for Triple Threat, as well as
well, I think
Chavez Records?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot going on, actually. 2019 has been a pretty good year for me. 2018 ended up pretty strong for myself. 2019 is showed to be another great year, as it starts off with a bang. You know, we got to start off in Mexico again this year, going down to Mexico to play. So we got some more international time. We also got some stuff coming out with Careless Records. It's our label is growing now that I'm doing some more A&R with that. We've got some really good, talented artists on there. I'm really pleased with the direction that some of the artists are going with some of their music and the talent and the production that they're doing, and just some of the camaraderie that we have going on with the label itself. Is guys supporting each other. It's beautiful to work with a team of people that really take their craft seriously and actually want to take it to another level, that support each other in the meantime. So we've got a lot of things coming up as just with Careless Records. Next Saturday, April 6th, we are going to be at Gold Room out in Stone Park. So we are doing a Careless takeover that night, and it also happens to be my birthday celebration.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to be doing that. So if you're all interested in coming out, you can use the password Careless at the door all night long. That gives you free entry. And so if you've got a group coming with you, let me know. Hit me up on Facebook on my personal page, or you can connect with me at Vincent R on there at my artist page as well. We do have a package that we can get you guys a bottle with a group of 5 people or more. So
Nice.
we can take care of you there with that. Careless Records also has a couple things coming up as well. April 12th, I have the pleasure of playing out at Home Bar, if you guys are familiar with that, out in Arlington Heights. It's a nice big venue out there in the suburbs. I get to play with my fellow Careless Records artist, Ross Dunn, out there. He and
What
I are
up,
going to
Big
play
Ross?
all night. Yep. And then we got, for me personally, April 13th, I'm playing, we got Xavier's that we're doing
Yep.
as well on the south side. So if you haven't been there, Xavier's is a great place to come and hang out. Good drink prices, good atmosphere, good people hanging out there. So we're going to throw down some good house music. And then I got another late night set that evening at Coconuts down on, I think that's on Division as well.
Yes.
Yep.
And they've been doing a lot of house music there
They
lately.
have.
It's
As a matter-
surprisingly, it came out of nowhere. All of a
As a
sudden, I
matter-
start seeing this name popping up with house DJs, and I'm like, what?
As a matter of
What's going
fact,
on?
Freddie and I were talking about that.
Mhm.
Freddie, House 13 from Blue Moon Media. We were talking about that early Saturday morning, and him and Louis Chavez, which is going to be coming into the station shortly as well, and getting on the ones and twos. Him and Louis were out at Coconuts, and I drive by Coconuts all the time, and I thought it was more of a top 40 hip hop club.
It honestly used to be. It used to be one of those top 40-ish places. I knew a
Okay.
few people that worked there, and so that's why when it started popping up with house music DJs, I was kind of like, okay, something's going on where
Right.
it's changed. So, but
Well-
good location down there. You're in the heart of the city.
And not, once again, we're not here bashing hip hop, but if you've been paying attention to what's going on around the Chicagoland area, there's been a lot of clubs shutting down because of shootings and violence outside or in these clubs that are in the downtown area. The last one was one of the security guards from Soundbar shot and killed in the alley, and Soundbar got shut down. And it has been confirmed that it was on their open format hip hop night. So I think some of these clubs are starting to wise up. They're saying, well, you know what? It's the crowd that's being attracted by the music. And for those that are listening, I'm not dissing hip hop, because there's a lot of hip hop followers that want to go and hear the music and have a good time, and they're not about the violence.
It's about the culture, and if
It's
you're
about the
serious
culture.
about the culture, I hate to interject, but it's one of those things where it's like, you guys got a beef, go take it somewhere else. Don't kill our nightlife because you want to be stupid
Right.
about doing something where you got to take somebody out. I understand it happens, but take it elsewhere. Go
Right.
settle your differences elsewhere, but do it
Exactly.
do it bare knuckled if you got to.
The
Crying out
culture has
loud.
changed so much over the years. I mean, you have to look at it from a standpoint of economics in all actuality. You have club owners who want to bring in that
Mhm.
influx of young youth spendable cash.
Right.
But what you're also failing to realize is that sometimes that young youth spendable cash is picked up other ways.
Correct.
And those
yeah.
other ways, they tend to try to bring that into the club itself. And doing so, you're bringing that entire genre in. And a lot of the people don't realize that when you bring that in, you got a 50-50 chance of having a productive evening or something going wrong.
Right.
You unfortunately in Chicago we don't have any real clubs anymore. You know, we've gotten to the point where most of the DJs that are on the circuit, for lack of a better word, you know, they're going to lounges and neighborhood bars. We don't have a club.
Well, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because Rob and I were talking about that last Sunday. And here's the thing, and I'm not negating what you're saying, and we talked about this, both of us, all of us sitting here, we've had this conversation. There's clubs, but the clubs that are downtown and toward the north side of Chicago that are lucrative, your folks on the south side choose not to go there because, quote unquote, it's
Too far to drive.
Now, we were talking about this, you and I were talking about this yesterday. And the thing was, and I was talking to a friend of mine about the same thing. If you look at the demographic, and back in the day, you had people that were driving from the southern suburbs, from the south side to downtown every Friday, Saturday night, if not both nights.
Correct.
Or more. The problem is you had some people that had the mindset where this stereotypical racism started. I don't like partying with the white people. I've heard that before. I've heard that.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, when clubs like the Click, the Cotton Club, Chick Rick's, stuff like that start shutting down, people started to say, well, I don't need to drive downtown anymore. Therefore, I'll go to this lounge where my aunt, which is still a partier, she's maybe older, she goes, and guess what? It gave DJs the opportunity that couldn't get into the bigger clubs downtown a chance to play in the lounges.
Mm-hmm.
So the lounges became the watering hole / house spot for folks that used to go to the city that found that I don't have a club anymore to go party at. So that lounge in that local area became the party spot. Those lounge owners started collecting more benefits of the money because now people weren't driving to the city to go party because they figured their club that they once partied at shut down.
Yeah, but it also, you kind of hit on it, you skirted by the issue a little bit, the economics part of it. When you started going, or when the crowd themselves started going into the lounges and the neighborhood bars, you lost, or the DJ itself lost that revenue. And what I mean by that is now you're getting a stipend from the bar owner off the bar. Most neighborhood lounges can't charge a cover.
Right.
So then all of a sudden that went on for several years, right? So now all of a sudden you have the free mentality that comes into play.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't want to pay to get in here. I can go over here to XYZ and see Stevie B over here and play, and I don't have to pay.
Nor do I have to stand in a line.
You know, so it's a trickle-down effect. It's just like in business, business economics 101. It's a trickle-down effect. If you take away what was normally the norm and expected and replace it with something else, that something else is then going to become the norm. So now you try to have an event, you rent out a nice place, and you charge a cover. Well, guess what? I'm not going to drive 10 minutes to go over here and pay to get in when I can go to this bar and sit down and sip on one beer for the rest of the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Economics of it.
Correct.
and that's the trickle down effect. And then you have so many people that's fallen into that and fallen into that mindset that they don't want to go and pay to hear somebody play. How do you think?
Well, that depends, because when Black Coffee comes into town, I've seen a lot of Southsiders pay their money at the Mid when the Mid was open to see Black Coffee.
But you're not getting that same response from going to see Vince play, or coming to see me play, or going to see you play.
You're right.
Because
their name is established and their music is known. And it goes back to, which we'll branch off and be talking for hours, but it goes into the factor of, if you get, and you take the same big names in Chicago, Mike Dunn's, the Terry Hunters, you put them at the Mid, they're gonna sell out, because they're not selling out, they're selling out the tickets of that venue. That's what I mean. I'm not saying they sold out. So I don't want nobody saying, Ron said they sold out. No. They sell out the venue because they have a following. Their following is very loyal and devout to them, and I'm not jealous of that at all. As a matter of fact, I supported Mike Dunn 2 Mondays ago at the Family Den. And I also support a lot of Southside DJs. The thing is, how do you build your crowd? And that's a whole different other topic, which we had talked about with Derek before, is networking. And if people would just take the time to put the work in and network, because there are DJs that are waiting for that red carpet. I'm not naming no names, but there's some DJs that are like, well, why I'm not playing at the Mid? Do they know you? You know, Vince sitting right next to you has played at the Mid how many times? 3 times?
I played upstairs a few times. Honestly, you know, we go back to, I think this could go round and round and round, and it all comes down to a lot of it goes back to economics and things like Rick was talking about. You know, a lot of club owners are, honestly, I don't feel like they even care about the music or who the DJ is. They care about money at the end of the day. Are you bringing people? Are you able to throw a party? Are they popping bottles? And this is where you get into that whole discussion, going back even to the hip hop. I've talked to club owners who say hip hop is where they make the most money, so that's why they'll do hip hop nights. And house people tend not to spend as much money because we're there for the music and the environment, the culture, the people, and we're not there to pop bottles and get stupid, ridiculous, drunk, and and all the other things that come with it. You know, that's more of that hip hop culture in today's day and age.
Unless they go to Prism and see Prism, but I'm not dissing Prism. Prism is a really great place where folks that like the EDM tech house scene will pop bottles because there are a lot of people that are in Prism that got money. And being that we promote Prism on Friday night,
Prism on Friday nights is more of a tech house kind of like environment, so it's more house, but it does appeal to a younger generation.
That's
so
exactly
they are popping bottles. You know, it's about the party.
You have people like myself. I've been around for over 40 years doing this. We're getting older, and we're going to go out. If we're going to go out and we're going to dance and what have you, we're going to actually go out to enjoy the music, enjoy the networking, and to coin your phrase, and try to socialize. Whereas when you have a hip hop crowd, you're not out there trying to socialize. You're trying to, and the way I see it, you're out there trying to show up the next person at the table over there who just bought this bottle, where you want to buy 2 more of these bottles over here and that's how the club owners get their money. And that's how that revenue, and it goes back to that economics 101. It's the trickle down effect.
Well, I think it's going to change because a lot of these club owners are looking at the fact that, okay, I don't need a shooting at my club to shut me down and change. I think like Coconut, for example, went into house music because they don't want to be shut down. They want the crowd that brings the dollars, but they're wearing it out.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
And I think with more clubs that start doing that, it's going to send a message.
Right.
Because after a while, it's like how house was at every club in Chicago, and then it started to trickle away and give way to hip hop and stuff like that. I think it's going to do a refold in a way. It's not going to be fast. I think it's going to change because people are going to say, look, I want that revenue, but I don't want to pay the cost to get that revenue.
Right. And that's how a lot of it you see it gradually, and it's so strange that you're watching. I've watched it with watching some of my friends who I've grown up with, I've known for years. Mickey Calvin is a prime example. Yes. How that has just started to drift back to the way it was when I first started. Mickey's several years younger than me, but he kind of came up through the ranks the same way I did when I first started, thanks to Lil Jon and some of the other people who put him on.
Which I had the privilege of meeting, finally, not this past Friday, but last Friday at Ascension. And Lil Jon, if you're listening, mad ups to you. I want to bring you on the show so you can tell your story, because I heard you got a plethora
he has more
of knowledge.
He has more stories than anybody can shake a stick at. He's been around for a long time, just like my cousin Steve.
Yep.
Wall to wall sounds, RSS, Mendel. Those were some of the early stages.
Now, Rick, I want to get into you telling me what you got. Well, tell the listeners and viewers what you got going on. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to Glenn Underground and Boo Williams. They were in Paris playing last week, and awesome video. I showed mad love for it. They went out there, they're doing their thing, and, you know, big ups to Glenn Underground and Boo Williams, representing Chicago house music out there. So if you're listening, big ups to you guys, mad respect. You know, I want to be like you guys when I grow up.
Exactly.
So, with that being said,
Well, if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
I think too that part of it is you look at us sitting here right now. I mean, I don't mean to imply anything, but as I've become more mature, my focus in my music has changed. Where before, when I was younger, it was definitely about the party, you know. And I think that even part of that is just the culture of house music changing with the day and age of us all maturing,
Right.
and our focus is different, you know. And a lot of times, you know, I would go out and party when I was younger, you know, but then now it's like when I go out, now it's more for business, it's more for networking, it's more to you know, to network. But I also, at the end of the night, I'm going, man, I don't need no DUI, so I'm not drinking a bunch before I got to go home at the end of the night, you know, because I don't have time and energy to put into that. You know, being a new homeowner now, it's like I got other priorities too, that if I'm going to go out and spend $50, I'm going to spend it on either my house, or I'm going to spend it on music, I'm going to spend it on gear. I ain't going to waste it on beer and alcohol, because at the end of the night, that don't give me anything.
Right.
It doesn't progress my career at all. It doesn't do anything for me.
Exactly.
I mean, you hit on a good point. As we've matured, as we've gotten older, our entire persona as far as partying has changed. I mean, I know for a fact, I don't go out to a club and sit down and drink like I did when I was in my 20s. I don't want to. Number one, I could do that at home and not spend as much.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, I go out to be entertained, and to me, that's what my job is as a DJ. If I'm going to play music for you, I'm going to try my best to entertain you. I want to make you go away and walk away from my set, be like, damn, this dude just did something that
Just threw down.
I have never heard that before. And unfortunately, on the circuit, you have a lot of us playing the same stuff because that's what everybody is expecting you to play. And I like to try to change that. And I know you change it.
Yeah.
But I like to go out there and change.
My chair, but I want you to talk and talk. We're going to come back to that. But I want, can you hit on what you have coming up?
All right, well, so coming up, you know, especially with this man sitting across from me, we have something coming up on a Sunday. Believe it or not, we're going to do a Sunday day party.
Nice.
At this place called Base Camp.
Sure.
It's out in Four Lakes in Lyle.
Which some of their guys are going to be doing some stuff with you and Careless Records.
Yeah.
So, and it came up as a strange thing because they've done hip hop concerts there, and they do live bands.
Yeah.
But they've been wanting to get into. I'm gonna say this, and Ron's gonna jump all over me for saying this. They've been wanting to get into the electronic dance music style, and
Well, that came over from Europe, right?
It is. I'm sorry, Derek, but I'm going to have to agree with it is European dance music, not electric dance music, but continue.
So I actually had a chance to go in and sit down with their, I guess their talent guy, and Ron and I went and sat down and we talked to him. Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby.
We went in and talked to him, and so we originally were going to do this month in April until we found out that April 21st was Easter. So we kind of pushed it back.
Kind of a conflict.
Yeah, just a little conflict, you know. So yeah, we're doing starting at 11.
You got pretty ladies running around in bunny suits, and making a great Sunday fun day.
Yeah, but it's kind of might be
That'd be too young for us.
That's perfect, isn't it? That's perfect, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you got a point there. You got a point there. So yeah, we moved it back. That's gonna be in May.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah, we pushed it back to May, and the way Bobby has it set up for us is we're doing from 11 to 3, $25, all you can drink, top shelf, and mimosas.
Mimosas, yeah. Pancakes
Not that
too?
far to
We
drive.
got pancakes in this
Well,
deal?
they're doing half price on the appetizers and the food.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So we start at 11 o'clock. We're running sounds until 6. From 11 to 3, you got the all you can drink top shelf for $25 with the mimosas, half price appetizers. You got myself, Black Thor sitting over there. My cousin Steve Poindexter, and we're going to be introducing a young guy to the group. His name is Marvin Williams. He's going to be playing. He's going to be opening for us.
Is Marvin younger than me?
Marvin is younger than both of us.
Really? And he looks like he's around the same age as me.
No, Marvin has just gotten into his late
Marvin.
40s.
Is he 46?
No.
He's younger than 46.
Yes.
Wow.
And he didn't.
I thought I was going to be the baby still.
He didn't do the Marine Corps, but he did the Army. So
we got a lot of veterans here. We got Marines with Ron Tinsley. I was a corpsman in the Navy.
And I personally ran track, so I didn't join the service.
It's okay. It's okay. The fact that you support the military, and we've had that discussion before too. I don't think people know this. Less than 1% volunteer to sign up for the military. And that number is staggering because of that 1%, a 0.8% make it to retirement. So, once again, I'm not patting myself on my own back. I'm just saying, for those who took the time to sign that contract and serve, and if you didn't sign the contract to serve, but you support the military men and women that defend this country, that's what we need. We don't need a repeat of Vietnam where people are spitting on servicemen and women in the airports. Because I know if somebody would spit on me in my dress blues, I would have been all over the news beating somebody down. But, so you got band camp coming up.
That's in May. April 26th, we're doing our bar.
Our bar.
With my Steve Poindexter, Trackmaster Scott, and Elron.
Alon?
No, not Alon. He's going to be one of the hosts. David Hill is the other host.
Okay.
But Ellery Crowley is going to be the other guest DJ coming in, and I'm going to toss in my partner from BTO is Marlo Southhill.
Okay.
He's going to do a guest spot. This is going to be a test run up at our bar for us.
Okay.
To try to see. Our bar is more known for dubstep, trance.
You'll remember Vince and I up in there.
Yes, they
because we were probably by far the loudest New Year's Eve party they've ever experienced because we brought our sound in with, and you know what sound I got. We brought our sound, my 18, his 215s, and I don't know how many times the police came, but they couldn't shut us down.
Yeah, they came at least on 3 separate occasions, and people were calling, at 10:30. It wasn't even close to midnight. They were already calling the cops on us. It's too loud, I'm like, are you kidding me?
So yeah,
New Year's Eve.
So thanks to Alan Kane and David Hill for getting me in there. So like
it's not a bad little venue either.
This is going to be like a test run to see how traditional Chicago sounding house music goes
on the north side.
Up on the north side.
I think it'll go well. I really do.
Because of course you have. I have a certain style that I play. Ron has heard me play. Steve goes classic old school house because that's what he's known for, with the tracks that he's put out over the years. But he's also started to venture into a little bit more of the tech house.
Okay.
Interesting.
Marlo is one of those guys from Photon that has his own unique style. He plays a lot of his own original tracks.
Sure.
So that's the other thing that we got coming up right now.
That's a beautiful thing as an artist. If you can get to the point where you can play an entire hour-long set, 2-hour set of your own actual music. It's like I will say that working with Careless Records, the owner John Linklater, he does all his own re-edits of everything.
Well, we're playing Careless in the background right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's Jason Leach that's playing in the background right now. Phenomenal artist, by the way.
Yes.
If you ever see him live, when we have him back up to Chicago, this man throws down on the keyboards while he's got instrumentals playing in the background, and it's just amazing to watch that type of artistry take place live in front of you.
Because that's exactly how Marlo does things. I mean, I've been to his studio. I've been sitting there watching him, and he's playing, or he's actually mixing while he's putting together a whole new track at the same time while everything is playing all at once. And it's like,
beautiful, isn't it?
I sit there and be like, I wish I could do that. I mean, I'm good I'm doing good if I can actually get my program to run right when I'm trying to put together my own track. So I mean, this is interesting.
Well, with that being said, I want to welcome Luis Chavez to the booth on this Thursday. So we got room for some more DJs to come in. If you are in the area, my house head DJs, my house music lover DJs, the people that are out here to keep house music alive, bring your butt to the studio. 3201 South State Street. Now, we're going to go to a commercial, but we're going to get into the music. We got Angelo Sotto in the house. What up?
The little quiet man. Wow. The little quiet guy.
Where is he in his... Hey, I got some mouse food. You know, let's give this little mouse a little bit. You need some testosterone in there.
When I called Angelo this morning,
we love him, but you know, come on, Angelo, man. When we ask you to bring it, you gotta bring it, man.
Angelo, I woke him up, so I'm gonna give him a break. I woke up Angelo. Angelo was like, "What the you want calling me at this time?" And I said, "Bro, you want to come on the show and play?" Oh, well, sure. So,
man.
I mean, and Luis has always been my brother. I'm glad that Luis is here to meet Rick, Angelo, Rick. Here's a networking session. I'm calling my brothers and sister DJs out. If you're in the area, please come through. We're having a good time here on the booth. This is a Thursday show, and it's a Thursday because we don't have Derek Smokin' Jones, the preacher, here. He's taking care of stuff for the Music Alliance Festival. Rob is taking care of family business. His son's birthday is today, and
happy birthday out there too.
Yes, happy birthday to little Rob. So I'm going to say one other thing before we go to a commercial break, and this is important. For those that don't watch the news, we have had 2 state troopers die in the past week. Not from gun violence, not someone shooting at them, but from getting hit by vehicles on the highway. We lost a female state trooper earlier this week, and then another one on Friday night. The state trooper was, I'm not sure what expressway, but he was hit head on by a car going on the wrong way, second wrong way.
Wrong way?
Yes.
Yes.
Second wrong way.
And there was actually a Cook County Sheriff.
Cook County Sheriff was on Wednesday.
That was Wednesday.
So 3 police officers. Now, some people might say, F the police. But you know what? When you are needing the police, what are you going to do? You're going to call 911. And I'm sorry. I'm being in the middle here. We need them just like they need us. Let's look after our men and women that are in uniform. Once again, we said respect those that are in uniform. Let's look after them. We've lost 3 police officers in 1 week and 2 to senseless driving incidents. Be careful out there. And there is a law out there. It's the Scott's law. If you see a police car having someone pulled over, you need to get in the next lane if possible. Slow down. Be respectful of these officers out there trying to do their job.
Yeah, they're people too. They got many of them have families and kids just like we do. So
with that said, we're gonna finish this track out, and then we're gonna go to pay some bills, and we're gonna come back and we'll decide on who's gonna go first. Either Mr. Angelo Sotto, Luis, Rick, if you want to play, Vince, or myself. We're going to toss it up, and we'll be right back after we pay some bills. Stay tuned for more music here at the Booth 312 for the best sounds in underground Chicago house music.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Paying for insurance may not be on your favorites list, but paying more to cover the cost of insurance fraud only adds to the frustration. Some people cheat their insurance companies a little, exaggerating a claim or adding to the items that were supposedly stolen when the car was broken into. But some people make a living out of cheating insurance companies. For example, they stage auto accidents and claim injuries that never happened. They file phony workers' compensation claims to collect unearned wages and payments for medical bills. Or contractors intentionally do shoddy repair work after a storm or no repairs at all, as long as they get paid up front. Most doctors, lawyers, and contractors are honest, but the dishonest ones look at insurance companies as easy targets and rip them off to the tune of billions of dollars every year. And guess who pays for their crimes? You do. Help us make them pay. Each year, we help law enforcement put hundreds of insurance fraudsters out of business. If you know something about insurance fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey, guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey, everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R.
What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
Music has many different backgrounds and origins, many shades, textures, and a huge following worldwide. The door is always open to our house.
come geeking up. I'm so fitted. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. Yeah. I'm gonna get it. Ooh. This is sell it. Ooh. Yeah. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh. Know that. Yeah. Ooh. Get it. Ooh. Work it. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Contraband, contraband, contraband. I got the plug on who a hopper. They gonna find you like.
Side of the good old days. See, first of all, you have to imagine yourselves in a club somewhat like this one. And the MC would be standing in the way. And just as he take that last hit off the drum,
would you say to your fans who have supported you through all of this and who today, some of them might have questions? What would you say to them?
Well, I would tell them I love them very much. And they've learned about me and know about me from a distance. But if you really want to know about me, there's a song I wrote, which is the most honest song I've ever written. Please follow
drums. Moving makes you feel free. And with freedoms comes joy. And with joy comes love. And with love, we can do anything, 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 with love, we can do everything.
my soul.
Introducing a new day of the week. It's called Someday. Now, everything you were going to do someday is on the calendar. Want to retire someday? You'll want a My Social Security account to help you get ready. Get yours at socialsecurity.gov.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R.
What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R.
What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
I am so quick, glossy. You make me slow down. But too much of you, babe, and I'm laid out on the ground. You are a lethal little bitch, but I love you. You and I, we alike. Cocaine and ketamine, cocaine and ketamine. You and I, we alike. Cocaine and ketamine, cocaine and ketamine. Just a little bit. Don't wanna go too far. Don't wanna regret it. Just one hit. You got me to the untrained eye. We look about the same, don't we, you and I am so slick. I'll leave you wanting more and more and more. You and I, we alike. Cocaine and ketamine, cocaine and ketamine. You and I, we alike. Cocaine and ketamine, cocaine and ketamine.
Let's learn to share. Can you feel it? It's in the air. Now is the time for a change. Time for us to care. pop play? What's pop play? Yeah, how? What's pop play? What's pop play? Yeah, how? What's pop play? What's pop play? Hey, how? What's pop play? What's pop play? Yeah, 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 how?
I just checked my follow and listen. You motherfuckers owe me.
Get your money, black man. Black man. 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 Get down.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. 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 Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm geeking up. I'm so fitted. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. I'm gonna get it. Watch me move. This is Sally. That's a tool. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm geeking up. I'm so fitted. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. I'm gonna get it. Watch me move. This is Sally. That's a tool. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh, know that. Ooh, get it. Work it. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Contraband, contraband, contraband. I got the plug on with a hawker. They gonna find you like Waka. This is America. 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 This is America.
All right, all right, all right. Woo, thank you all for tuning in. Thank all my friends who came in on this. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I want to thank everybody who came in on this Thursday, Sunday. It's a special day. Like I said, it's my 2-year anniversary for me retiring from the Marine Corps. It's also, yes, thank you. It's also Frankie Knuckles, the death of Frankie Knuckles, one of our great legends of Chicago house music. Paying tribute to him on this day, playing the old school stuff. I want to thank my good and close friend, my best friend from Triple Threat, Vincent, for being in the house.
Thank you for having me today. It's been a pleasure. It's been good to hang out with some good people and talented artists and DJs. You know, make sure you guys check out all the artists that play today. If you haven't liked their pages, please go on and like their pages, follow them, especially if you're doing any kind of production stuff. You know, you definitely want to make sure that you're supporting your local artists, you know, and getting their music out there because, you know, we're artists. We do it because we love it, but we do it also because we like to give back to our audience, right? We do it because we want to have a connection with you, and that connection is through our music to you. All right?
There you go. There you go. My buddy, my good friend, Chavez in the house. Hey, and then we got Angelo Sotto sitting back here in the back. Oh, yeah. Anytime and every time. Well, we have to go, but that doesn't mean the music has to stop. It's just going to stop here. But you all out there can keep house music alive. Keep it in your car. Bang it with the windows down. It's getting warm outside. Put the windows down. Bang the house music. And let's bring the new generation into house music so they can keep it going on. But until then, we'll see you right here next Sunday.
Hey, make sure you guys stay tuned too for any of the events that are going on in the area. I know that the booth is going to be promoting those, so it's a good way to stay connected to everything that's going on in your community. That way you can support the music scene out here.
With that being said, I'm going to go old school like I used to back in the day when I would do Facebook Live. House music all night long. House music all night long, y'all. House music all night long. House music all night long, y'all. House music all night long. House music all night long, y'all. House music all night long up in here. The Booth 312, 88.9 FM, WIT Chicago. We'll see you next week. Peace.
My son is a handsome young man.